Hey, what's up, guys? It's Jordan with the Laundromat Resource Podcast. This is show 174, and I'm pumped you're here today because today we are heading to South Africa, Cape Town, South Africa, and we're going to talk about Tessa's laundry business. And this is just a wild ride you're about to be on because she buys this thing while she's backpacking through Europe. She doubled the business in less than 2 years. We're going to get into all the details. I mean, there's a lot to unpack here, and there's a lot to learn from this episode. So huge shout out to Tessa. Can't wait for you guys to meet her and hear what she has to say about building her laundry business. Because man, again, wild ride and so much good stuff in there for all of us. So real quick before we jump into that, today's fast lane tip is this. We've got that. We've got a webinar coming up November 12th at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Where listen, I'm gonna open up the playbook to you on how to buy your first laundromat if that's the phase you're in, how to optimize the laundromat if that's the phase you're in, and how to scale your business if that's the phase you're in. I'm going to show you this playbook that we have built over here, literally over the last couple of years. I'm super duper excited about it. We put together a whole program around it also. So come hear about it. Doesn't matter where you're at in the journey. If you're brand new looking to buy your first laundromat, if you already own a laundromat or multiple laundromats, listen, if you're ready to go to the next level, we've got what you're looking for. So November 12th, go to laundromatresource.com/playbook, and you can sign up for that webinar over there. It's free, obviously. Come hang out with me, ask some questions, hang out with all the other people who are loving this business just like we are, and have a good time doing it. So I am super duper excited. Like I said, we've been working really hard on it, and I am very proud of this program. So come check it out. And again, that's November 12th. I think that's all I got before we jump into it with Tessa. Can't wait to see you guys over there. And then I'll catch you on the backside and talk about the action you need to take to get going to your next level here. All right, let's jump in with Tessa.
What's up, laundromat owners? John here again with Business Marketing Resource. Are you ready to make your business even more successful? Here's a quick marketing tip that could really boost your foot traffic. Partner with local businesses. Let's think about this. Nearby cafes, gyms, or apartment complexes have customers who might need laundry services. Why not create a referral program? Offer businesses a small incentive for every customer they send your way, or create joint promotions like a free coffee with a wash and fold service. It's a win-win that builds community connections while bringing in new customers. And if you're looking for even more ways to grow, Business Marketing Resource is here to help. We specialize in creating customized marketing strategies for laundromats, from branding and social media management to professional website design. We'll help you build strong partnerships and make sure your laundromat is the go-to spot in your neighborhood. If you want to learn more, visit us at buildwithbmr.com today, and let's work together to make your laundromat the best in town.
Okay, I lied real quick. We're going to jump into Tessa in a second, but I just wanted to let you know that on the show notes page, laundromatresource.com/show 174, she actually sent in some pictures of her laundry operation. So if you want to check out her South Africa laundry operation there in Cape Town, go to the show notes, laundromatresource.com/show 173, or no, 174. Oh gosh. laundromatresource.com/show 174, and check them out over there. Okay, now let's jump into it with Tessa. Tessa, thank you for coming on the show all the way from the other side of the world. How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks, Jordan. And you?
I'm doing good. Maybe I'm the one on the other side of the world, and you're on the correct side of the world over there. Well, I am super excited to talk with you today. Appreciate you taking the time to come on and share about your laundry business in South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, this is cool. I'm super excited about that. I'm sure everything is exactly the same as it is here in the States where I am. And we won't have a whole lot to talk about. No, I'm just kidding. I'm very curious to see how you're running your business over there. But real quick, why don't you give us a quick background of who you are, and then let's talk about how you got into this business.
Okay, hi, Jordan. My name's Tessa Leonard, and I'm from Cape Town, South Africa. I actually went to college in the States at Oklahoma State University. I was over there on a tennis scholarship, and I was there for 4 years. And then I went off to play professional tennis for 8 or 9 years on the WTA circuit.
Okay.
Then I came back to South Africa and I got married and I had 3 kids who are in their 20s now. And while they were growing up, I actually started a photography business, property photography business. I also coached some sports and tennis and hockey. And now I'm a laundry owner. So that's a quick background.
I mean, just a pretty typical path to laundry ownership there. Moving to the other side of the world, coming back, playing tennis pro, all that. Yes. Yeah. Typical. I hear it all the time. I mean, I don't want to go too far down this route. Can we talk just for a second about playing pro tennis? That's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What was that like? How did you even become a pro? And then what did you travel around playing tournaments, or what did that look like?
Yeah, well, obviously it's a long road. As a junior in South Africa, and the only way for us in South Africa to get anywhere was to leave the country really and go overseas. We were a long way away. So a lot of us at that time went over to America and went to college there. That was like a path that most of us did. And then played 4 years of college tennis, which I loved, and then went on to the circuit.
Singles or doubles? Singles or doubles? Oh, both.
Yeah, I was top 100 in the world, so I got to play a lot of the Grand Slams and pretty much went around the world playing tennis. Yeah, it was a great time.
Did you play anybody that we would know, like a name that we would know?
I was sort of in the era of Lindsay Davenport, Steffi Graf, that era. The South Africans that were Amanda Kutzer and Wayne Pereira, and that was sort of my time.
Cool.
It was very different then than it is now, but it's still great.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, I didn't know that before right now. So that's very cool to hear about that. And, I grew up, my dad liked tennis. And so I grew up kind of watching that era of tennis with all those guys. So very cool. Okay. So, I mean, you casually dropped this whole, life path here, and then you're like, and now I'm a laundry owner. So how did this happen? I mean, you had a photography business, property photography business, you had kids, all that stuff. How did you transition from that into laundry?
Well, 3 years ago, I got divorced, and I was looking to buy a small business. And I've always had this thing in the back of my head that laundry business was a good business to buy. I don't know why, I always had it, even when I wasn't really looking to buy a business. Whenever I went past laundries, I always thought, wow, that place must be making money. Anyway, and I was sitting at my holiday home in the Eastern Cape in St. Francis Bay. St. Francis Bay is a coastal town in the Eastern Cape. It's where they did the movie Endless Summer. I don't know if you know that movie, the surfing movie. And we've got a holiday home there. And there was this little laundry.
Great movie, by the way. Yes. Endless Summer. Yeah. Great movie. Yeah.
When they come over the dunes and surf, that's St. Francis Bay. That's what I'm talking about.
Right, now I got to watch it again too. So.
Yes. And you got to come to St. Francis. Yeah.
I do.
Yes. Anyway, I was sitting there and there was this little laundry in this little coastal town that whenever I went past there, it was just pumping. It was so busy, and it was owned by a little lady, and it was so dirty and dingy, but she was just bursting at the seams. She was just cooking. And it just got me thinking. I thought, this is something I really I think I'm going to investigate this. And I even went into her little laundry and I asked her if she'd be interested to sell it. And she said, no. But, planted the seed for me, and I went back to Cape Town. And I started looking around, just investigating laundries in Cape Town, looking into franchises, all sorts of things. And I was about to maybe buy into a laundry franchise called Fresh Franchise that was in Cape Town. And I went into one of them, and I asked to speak to the owner, and I told him what I wanted to do, and I just wanted some advice. And he actually persuaded me. He said, just Tessa, do not buy into the franchise. We're about to leave the franchise. Rather do something on your own. Buy a laundry rather. The franchise, they don't help you. It's actually a waste of time. So, he's quite good to talk to, but he said to me, but listen, Tessa, there's a little laundry in Rondebosch, which is a very, very busy part of Cape Town, in the school area, busy roads. It's just a great little hub. And he said, it's about to come on the market, but it's not on the market yet. If just go there now, speak to the owner and just see what he says. So I did. I got in my car, drove to that little laundry and got the owner's number, phoned him, and I said to him, I believe your laundry's about to come on the market, and I'm interested. Can we meet? And he said, absolutely. Let's meet tomorrow. So we met for a coffee. We about a 2-hour coffee, and by the end of the meeting, he said, I want to sell my business to you. I'm not even going to go through anywhere. I want you to buy my business. So I was like, wow, okay, amazing. And then we started really talking. But just before he left, he said, but, and there was a big but. He said, you have to take over the business August 1st. Now we're already in June. And I was thinking, oh my word, that's quite soon. And I had just, my daughter, who was at a gap year in the UK, she just finished her schooling and she was doing a gap year coaching sport at a school in England. And we'd always had this plan to go backpacking in Europe. So I knew that we'd had this trip coming up, and I was literally flying into Cape Town on August the 1st. And that is when he wanted me to take over the laundry. So I said to him, is there no way I can push it to September the 1st, just to give me a little bit of time? And he said, no, it's either that or nothing. So I said, no, that's fine. I'll do it. Let's go ahead. So anyway, 2 weeks later, I leave for Europe, and we're doing the due diligence, everything. And I'm with a backpack in Italy on a beach, and I'm scanning things. I'm like just signing little documents on my phone, and just crazy. I mean, it was just insane what I was about to embark on, but there I did it. And by the end of my 2-month backpacking trip with my daughter, I bought the business. I literally had a laundry, and I was still in Europe. And then I flew in on August the 1st, and I knew nothing about laundry. I'd been Googling like crazy. I hardly knew how to do my own laundry, never mind anyone else's laundry. And I literally walked into the laundry on that day and said to the staff, here I am. I need you, you need me, let's go. And I literally had to learn everything. I knew nothing. I didn't know how anything worked. I didn't know how the machines worked. I didn't know the detergents, invoices, the clients, customers. I literally was thrown in the deep end. But here I am 2 years later, and it worked. But those first 6 months were crazy. So that's the short version.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay. I mean, first of all, that's an awesome story. And I think that's great. And it's funny. I was having flashbacks as you're talking, like some of my biggest purchases I've made in my life, like real estate or businesses, I did while like on a cruise, or, like I'm traveling on the other side of the country or something. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. But as somebody who talks to people all the time who are trying to get into this business or a business in general, and who are afraid to take the leap, how in the world did you decide to buy this business, knowing that all your due diligence, you're going to be backpacking around Europe and you're literally getting home the day that you take over? Like, how did you cross over that fear, or did you have any fear, or were you just yep, let's just do it?
I don't know. Some people do say to me, Tessa, weren't you scared? Weren't you afraid? What did you do? And I don't know, the whole time I just really thought I just believed that it was really the right thing to do. And I just took the plunge. And but the whole time I really did think it was going to be a success. I mean, I think that, and it was I don't know how I did it looking back, but I did, and it's worked. But I think sometimes you just got to gamble and just go with your heart. And I really did go with my heart. I really did. People did try to persuade me not to do it. When I told people I was buying a laundry business, they were like, what are you doing? And why? They just, they couldn't really understand what I was doing. And now they go, wow, geez, it was quite a good move. So I think sometimes you do have to take the plunge,
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting too, because I experienced a lot of the same stuff when I was buying my first laundromat. It turned out that in my case, maybe they were right about the particular laundry, not about the principle of it, but the particular one did not turn out how I was expecting. But, however, I think that, it's just kind of interesting. Like when you try to do something, you step out and make a move, you've got these, not you, but a lot of people have these sort of internal feelings of, oh my gosh, like this is scary and I'm making a move. I don't know how it's going to turn out. I don't know if it's going to, bankrupt me or make me a gazillionaire. or I just don't know, right? And all that unknown. And then you have these external voices a lot of times that's really hard to overcome. Also, when you try to do something that's different than what most other people are doing, like buying a business and buying a laundry business at that, right? It's like, it seems kind of crazy. And you've got these voices that are like, what are you doing? Like, this is ridiculous. Or, did you just have like such belief in yourself and the business that those voices didn't matter? Or did you have any way of like overcoming those external voices?
I did have belief that it was going to work. I don't know. I can't really remember too many negative feelings, really. I just knew that I had to try and make it work. And I knew that whatever I put in, I would get out. And I just knew that I've just got to work. And those 6 months, I was literally just learning everything. I was at the laundry at 6 or 7 in the morning for the whole day, just like learning everything. I had to learn how the machines worked, how they folded. Like I said, the invoicing. He was a cash business, so like I needed to change that. I needed to get credit card machines. I needed to get a software. I needed to change the name. I needed to change the whole store. It was just like so busy. And there were times, and I do remember actually, there were times when I was driving to the laundry going, my word, I actually don't know what I'm doing. Like I just did not know what I was doing. And then I would get to the laundry and I would just be like flooded with all this stuff. And it got easier all the time. Every day was easier. And then, it probably took 6 months for me really to learn everything. And then it just got better and better and better. Yeah. Yeah. And now it's really good.
I love that. I love that. And we'll dig into what that means here in a second. But I mean, I have one of my values, right, is default to action. Like you've got to, like, it's good to do some learning. It's good to do as much research as you can, but eventually you got to take that action. And, in your case, it sounded like you had a lot to learn still. And, there's a lot of people out there, and I can fall into this trap too, where, you feel like I've got to know everything before I take the leap. And the reality of it is you can't know everything before you take the leap, right? You can't know something until you actually do it. And then also, you miss a lot of opportunities if you're not willing to kind of learn on the job. And you said something, you just kind of like glossed over it a little bit, but I think it's key. And what you said was something to the effect of, I knew I was just going to have to work, there at the end. And ultimately, if you put in the work, you're going to learn, you're going to succeed, down the line. Yeah. So, I love that. Okay. So
I'm also thinking my photography business, I started like that as well. I wasn't a trained photographer. I learned it on my own. I literally learned online what to do. And it was also a case of, how I got into property photography was that a friend of mine is a real estate agent, and I was doing people and sports and things like that. That's the photography I was doing. I wasn't doing property. And her regular photographer wasn't able to do the shoot. She said to me, Tessa, come do the shoot. And I was like, well, I don't even own a tripod. I don't know what to do. And she said, just come. And I thought, okay, I'll come. And I literally did that shoot. I don't know how I did it, but we got through it. And then I thought, wow, I quite like this. And then I just learned everything that I needed to learn about property photography. And then that's how I got to be a property photographer. So you can learn, you can learn if you put your mind to it, and you can pretty much do anything that you really want to do if you put your mind to it. So I guess it was the same kind of thing. I knew that I could do it. I just needed to put in the work, which I did.
Man, I'm feeling so inspired right now. Like that just felt like a pep talk. Like you can do it. Just put in the work. You can do it. Whatever you want to do it. I love it. Yeah. Okay. So you talked to this guy. What were you doing for due diligence in it? Like, I don't even know.
Yeah. So I had my accountant, and they were all doing it. So, they were in contact with me the whole time, and they were going through all his books, and luckily his books were in perfect condition. I was taking over a good business, and there was nothing dodgy about anything. And then they had to check all the machines and check everything was good. Everything went really smoothly with the due diligence. So I just had to just be in touch with them and keep signing stuff and going, just scanning little things on my phone. eventually everything was good. And then we did the deal that it was closed, and then I had a laundry. So nothing went wrong. Everything went very smoothly with the takeover.
Who did you say was helping you with the due diligence on
my accountant?
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. And a couple of them. Yeah. And then we got like maintenance people in, and, to check all the machines and to go over the whole history. And so we did all that, and everything was good.
Yeah. Well, can you tell us a little bit about like, what was the business like when you took over?
Yeah. Okay. So the previous owner was a 75-year-old guy, older guy, and he's, he was just tired. He just wanted to retire. So the business he wasn't really putting too much into the business, and he wasn't there a lot. The staff were pretty much just left to their own resources and doing their thing. And he was just popping in every now and then. So they were really just going through the motions, but still doing quite well. But it wasn't, when I took it over, it needed it needed a real sort of overhaul, which I did. And the staff also needed a little bit more training, a little more jacked up, and just better. I mean, the folding was terrible. They were folding things like inside out, and I don't know. He wasn't on it. You really got to be on those kind of things. So I changed a lot of things, the way the staff worked and how we did things. And I also knew, if we can just give a really, really good customer service to these customers and just make it really, really good, it can only succeed. It's such a customer service industry. The customers want their linen perfect. They want their clothes back even better than what they sent it in. If it can come back in a beautiful little package, all lovely and smelling great, they can only be happy, So I really focused on that, just really trying to, my customer service was really, I focused on that a lot, which I don't think he was. And we just suddenly started getting more and more customers, and people were coming back, and we got some great Airbnb clients and guest houses. And I started, I didn't have a driver. I was driving, collecting, and I got that going, the collect and delivery. So it just kept picking up in all departments, really.
Yeah. It sounds like it just fell in your lap, everything. No, I'm just kidding. It sounds like you worked really hard for it.
It didn't come with, it did. There were a few trial and tribulations. There were things that didn't work, but laundry, it's just, there's always stuff. There's always things that go wrong, and, you've got to keep on top of it. I had to get through all of those things. Even today I still battle with a few things, but you just got to, of
course,
keep trying.
Every time I feel like I've seen everything, or, like in this business, like I get a curveball, like there's more to see, like things can still happen. Doesn't matter how long you've been in.
Yeah. You learn all this.
Yeah. Well, I think this would be a good time to just pause for a second, talk about your business model and the business model of laundry in South Africa, and what that looks like there. Yeah.
It's very different. Like we spoke briefly about, it's very different to the American laundromats, which I've obviously done quite a lot of research with the way you do things over there. We don't have a lot of the self-service laundries. Ours are fully serviced, and so people come in, drop their laundry. Wash, dry, fold is the biggest thing probably. And a lot of customers, we've got our regular customers, then we've got a lot of Airbnbs that we do, as Cape Town is a huge hub for Airbnbs, and we in the season now. So from like October to March, April, it's busy. Tourists coming in just all the time. And I don't think you've been to Cape Town. Did you say you haven't been to Cape Town?
No, not yet. Yeah. But maybe I'll come down there, and maybe we can film a video so I can write it off as a business expense.
Yeah, we could. It's definitely a place worth visiting, for sure. Yeah. And so we're just in it now. We're just starting. So the Airbnbs and guest houses are just starting to really get busy. So we're very busy with that. And then the customers go down a bit in the season, and then they go up again in winter, when nobody can dry their clothes and they just need laundromats. But yeah, so like I said, it's not a self-serve. We are a fully serviced laundry. like most of the others in around the area. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny because I think a lot of I think of Southeast Asia, even a little bit Australia, I think a lot of them are mostly service based, right? Wash, that fold, pick up and delivery. So it's just kind of interesting. And I think that we're kind of moving more and more that direction here, but self-service is still a huge business here in the States.
I think it would be. I think it would be. And I think some tourists in Cape Town would love self-service, but it's very different. It's a whole different world down here. I don't know how it would, however it would work.
You guys are all upside down and your toilet's flushed the other way, apparently.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't know how well it would work. But you never know. I mean, I haven't got space to put machines in for a self-serve in my laundry. But also we've got a lot of crime around here. I don't want to say anything, but that would definitely put, there's a lot of, I don't know if it would work as easily over here, that kind of thing. No, I'm not saying it couldn't be done, but maybe it's something for the future. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, it sounds like you're living in the future for me. You're already doing all the service stuff. I don't know. I don't want to do laundry anymore for myself, right? I just feel like most people, if they have the option and the ability, would choose not to do laundry. I know there's some weird people out there that really like to do laundry. I try to avoid them unless they're doing it for their business. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I have found that more and more people are wanting their laundry done for them. They don't have time. They want to drop it off, pick it up, and it's all lovely. Put it in their cupboards, and they don't have to worry anymore. Yeah, so it's a big demand down here.
Yeah. Well, I see more and more of that happening here. I mean, real quick, we can jump into this a little bit more in a bit, but do you have any sense of how much your business is coming from, Airbnb, short-term rental, commercial, small restaurants, salons, whatever, versus residential?
Well, like I said, it does go in waves around, during the year, but I think when I took over, it was probably 70% customers, 30% the commercial, and now I think we almost half now. So we're doing so much more contract commercial based laundry, and a lot of our clients are like management companies that are managing properties, and they just literally throw the linen at us. We got bags coming in every morning, and they've got to go out every morning, and we just churning it out like that. So that's our biggest. I think that is where the money is, obviously, and that is where my business is going, probably more and more that route. Yeah. But we'll always have the customers, and they keep the business going, and you've got our loyal customers that come in every week, and that's what they do, and they like their laundry done by us, and they'll always be there. But I definitely think, it's going. My business is definitely getting bigger and bigger with Airbnbs, guest houses, restaurants, schools, linen, all that kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. And I want to talk about how that's happening here in a second, but real quick, I wanted to go back to you basically said you overhauled a lot of stuff. Did you get new equipment, or was the equipment okay? And overhauling was training people and all that, or what does overhaul mean?
Well, the equipment's really good. I've got these good industrial Electrolux machines. They're great, but they're 20 years old, 15, 20 years old, but they're still going strong. But that was another learning curve. I had the maintenance learning how to fix these machines, which I had no idea about. And I took over this maintenance guy who I think he was literally just he knew I knew nothing, and he would just sort of half fix the machine. It would work, and then he knew I'd be getting him back, and then he knew I'd have to keep paying him. So I quickly learned about him, and I've got a really good maintenance team now, and the machines are maintained, they're running well, and my maintenance bill has definitely come down. But that's key. That's really key to keep the machines going and maintaining them, because that's when they start breaking. And I've had that happen as well. And suddenly you've got no machines, and trying to churn out laundry, it's not fun. So that's a big thing, and we seem to be on top of it now. So I haven't had to purchase any new machines. I might, because I can still go above. I can still put some on top. I might get some more, but at the moment we're coping.
How many machines are you working with or running with?
I've got a big 30 kg machine. Then I've got 4 12 kgs, 3 6 kgs, and then 4 big industrial dryers, 2 roller irons, and then three ironing stations. Yeah, we don't really have that much space, so we've packed them in there. Yeah. But we seem to be coping, and then I also got dry lines outside. But our biggest expense is electricity in South Africa. In Cape Town is huge and it's so high. So that's my biggest expense. It's trying to keep the electricity
water
down.
even, huh?
Yeah, more electricity though. Wow, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But going back to the laundromat when I took it over, he also struggled through COVID. So I bought the business in 2022, but he literally started going. Yeah, I think COVID really hit him hard. And then he never really recovered after that. So I took it when it was probably at its lowest, and we've built it up again. Yeah, and I think that's what do you
think? What do you think made the difference? You know, I mean, it sounded like he was pretty hands off and was kind of just on his way out and wasn't checking quality and that kind of thing. But I mean, do you think that's what made the big difference in terms of why it was going down and why you were able to get it going back up?
I think he was. I think he was starting to be more and more absent, and he wasn't there enough. I don't think he had no social media at all. That I quickly got jumped onto social media, which has helped a lot. I got a new software package with Clean Cloud, which has helped us. I think that's been a real game changer as far as keeping track of everything and being able to link it to our collect and deliveries has been really good. Having that app with the driver, because our collect and delivery was all over the show. I mean, I had a phone, a business phone that people were WhatsApping me to collect and deliver, and then I would have to then tell the driver, and it was just like all over the show. I mean, we were just like,
Nightmare,
I don't know. It was crazy. So now when I got the Clean Cloud, it just goes onto the app, goes onto his phone, and it's just been a win. It's very organized now, which has been great. And I think that's helped us a lot. So the software, Clean Cloud, and social media has really, and also changing cash only business to credit card, SnapScan, EFTs, things like that. I mean, the customers could only pay cash. That's how he did his business, was a cash only business.
Are you still accepting cash, or did you?
Yeah, you know what? I tried to not. I tried to say no cash, and there's always the customers didn't like it. There were some old customers that weren't happy, and so then I thought, okay, that's fine. It's probably like a 10-15% cash now, which is okay. But people don't like it when there's no cash.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that transition.
Yeah, they didn't like it. I thought I could do it. It didn't work though.
Yeah.
So I think I'll always have a bit of cash.
Yeah. Well, maybe you can just tell new customers, hey, we're
yeah. Listen, most people and the younger generation, they pay on their phones and that. It's the older generation that's just like having cash. But I also didn't want to have too much cash at the store. It's just, it's a bit of a thing for us. I don't like. But anyway, it's been fine, and it's fine with 15% cash.
Yeah, 10-15% is not too bad. Not too bad there.
Yeah.
I mean, were you, okay, so you added social media and you added, obviously, you added the software and all that. So I'm assuming, are there any people who order online through the app or your site now, but they weren't doing that before?
No.
There wasn't.
So I'm pushing that a lot, and that's been great. I'm pushing the collect and delivery on the app a lot, because also I had to change the pricing was also a thing for me. I had to get my pricing right, because the collect and delivery, I wasn't charging. I don't think I was charging enough. And I had to change the whole pricing for collect and delivery, which I think I'm at a good place now with the pricing. And yes, the customers book on the app. They do everything on the app, which is, it's made it a lot easier for us. And we're getting more and more and more of those. So I think collect and delivery is something I'm really focusing on as well.
Yeah. Can we talk about the changing of the pricing? Cause I mean, I think a lot of people are always scared to change prices, especially, I mean, usually that means raising prices. I mean, can you tell us like, what were you at and where did you go to? And then like the response of customers to that?
That was a tough one because the previous owner was also, his pricing was so low. It was really low. So that was hard for me. I knew I had to change the pricing, but I had to do it really slowly.
Yeah.
People freak out all the time, but they freak out. What I've learned is that they freak out for a little while and then they just come.
They're like, well, what else am I going to do? Yeah.
They like to make a statement that it's not great. And then it goes down again. Yeah. So I've started increasing my prices like every 6 months. I just slowly, and the other thing I do is I don't increase at all. I increase certain things on the price list so that sometimes the customers don't really know that I've increased their prices, because I've found that if I increased everything together, it didn't go down well. So I got some good advice from a fellow, the dry cleaners that we actually do business together. And he actually said that's what he did. And I started doing that, and really it was good. So I've done that. But going back to the collect and delivery, I had to work out, it's petrol, it's time, it's all that. So I did jump quite a bit. I mean, it's probably like 15% more to book on the collect and delivery than just be a drop-off customer. So they are being charged more. But the people that use the collect and delivery want the convenience, and they don't mind paying that extra. So that's what I realized as well. And then it was a kind of a no-brainer. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead. No, that's also why I'm trying to push the collect and delivery, because it's obviously we get more, but it's actually quite a nice way of doing it. And then we don't deal with the customers so much. It's just the laundry just comes in and out. And it's actually quite good. The laundry isn't so busy, and I like the collection delivery a lot. I really do. Yeah.
I was just saying, I think a lot, if not most laundromats here are significantly more than 15% more on the collect and delivery than the drop off. So I mean, I think you probably still have room to go.
I do. Yeah, I think I do have, but I had to do it quite slowly. So I will in December, I'm going to increase again. So I think I just keep doing it every 6 months. And then I think my collect and delivery will be right. Yeah.
Yeah. How long do you think it's going to take you to get it to the right price?
Maybe another year. Another year.
Another couple of years, probably.
Yeah, it's getting there though. I mean, there's certain things that are right, and there's certain things that need picking up. But it's so hard to increase. I find that very hard, and that's something that I've had to learn. But we're getting there.
Do you feel like you get more pushback from your customers, residential customers, or your commercial, like Airbnb commercial clients?
They're also quite tough. It's about the same. They also try and keep me. They don't like it.
Yeah.
But, then we kind of, for my corporate customers, I do it a yearly increase. Mm-hmm. And then we kind of go as inflation. I kind of just say, this is what's happening. This is what we're doing. And then when I put it down like that, then and also they're giving me a lot of, we're doing a lot of laundry for them, and it's daily. So it's not like it's once a week. It's like every day that they're sending us laundry. So I can't jump too high with them.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that for sure. But I mean, it sounds like you're able to at least stay afloat right now even with your prices a little bit lower.
Yeah. We are. We're doing very well. Yeah, we are. We had such a busy June, July, because it was raining for a month in Cape Town in June, July. It was just crazy. Laundromats in Cape Town we just couldn't cope. They were up to the ceiling with laundry. So we had a great winter. And
That's
now
good.
we're heading into a good season. Yeah. So we're busy. Yeah, we're definitely making money and keeping afloat, paying staff, doing all that.
How's your capacity? Like, do you still have room to grow, do more laundry in your facility, or do you have to start thinking about adding another one or expanding?
Yeah, I think we are near capacity. And like I said, I might have to add some machines on the top, but there is, I have been thinking of maybe getting another, not actually another laundry, just another place to do laundry. So we've got sneaker companies. I'm sure you guys have the same as the sneaker cleaning companies in America, and it's called Sneaker Shack. So we send all the shoes to them, and they've got a warehouse, and there's space for me to put machines with them, and they wouldn't mind me doing that. So that's the kind of thing I would do. And then the other thing that I might do is just get a little hub, a little drop-off hub, sort of maybe further down the line, and then people can just drop laundry there. We don't do laundry there. Then the driver will pick it up and bring it to those two places. So that's kind of my thinking going forward. Not having another laundry with, it's more just to do the laundry and for someone to drop off laundry.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that sounds like a great business model, having drop centers and in a space that's not public facing to do the laundry. And if you can get some warehouse space, even better, because it sounds like space is tight right now. And it also sounds like you're doing a lot of stuff. You're doing, obviously washing and folding and all that, but you're doing some ironing. And what does that look like? Did you, when you took over, were they doing ironing already, or did you add that?
Yeah, everything we do. We do wash, dry, fold is big. And then obviously there's wash, dry, ironing. So we've got, like I said, we've got this big roller irons for the linen, and we've got the hand ironing for the clothes and the shirts and things. Yeah. So we actually do everything. We do, and then we send dry cleaning down the road to a dry cleaners that we've got business with. And then, so we pretty much do everything at the laundry. A busy laundry.
I love it. Very busy.
Yeah, we are.
That's cool. Making it happen.
Why do you not? Do they not do that in America?
Go ahead, sorry.
The ironing? Yeah, I mean, you all do the ironing, or?
Most don't offer ironing. There are operators that have some big ironing machines to iron sheets and stuff. I don't know of many that are ironing clothes, hand ironing clothes.
Yeah. That's busy. We get a lot of requests for ironing. Lots. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's just so time and labor intensive to iron that I don't know. Yeah.
But I don't know. We do charge extra. I've got a lot extra for ironing though. That's where I have like my prices at, because that takes a lot of time and electricity and all sorts of things. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of labor, a lot of time, space, even to do that. So yeah. No, we don't do a lot of, I'm sure there are people who do it. But I don't see it very often.
Interesting.
In fact, I see more people doing what they're calling wash, dry, bag, where they're not even folding it. They're just throwing it in a bag after they wash it and charging less because, folding's, labor intensive also. But wash, dry, bag, I see a lot more of that than I see people ironing residential clothes for sure. So that's kind of going the other way.
Do that. Yeah. We haven't heard of wash, dry, bag yet. Yeah. Ours is all wash, dry, fold very neatly. Very neat little packs, and then off they go.
I think it's controversial over here. I mean, I think some people, it's like, hey, it's easy money. We can charge, a little less than drop off service for it. But it's just easy. We don't have to fold anything. We just throw it in the bag. And, and then I think some people are like, well, listen, we can't control the quality then. And, people like to complain. You were saying this, right? Like people like to complain about stuff, and just another thing to complain about. So I think it's pretty controversial, but I think there's quite a few operators that are finding some success with it. So, it's just kind of interesting. That's why I love doing this, right? It's like some people are going one way and being like, okay, we'll wash it for you. But if you we can just throw it in a bag if you want. And you got who's like, we're going to fold everything. We're going to iron everything. It's going to, smell fresh.
Yeah.
It's great. That's part of the beauty of this business, I think, is there's lots of different ways to run it. It's on the one hand, it's just laundry, but on the other hand, there's lots of different ways to do it.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, look, on the other, look, some people just come in and just say they want us to iron for them. So they've washed, they've done everything, and they don't like ironing. So they just use us as an ironing service.
Yeah.
And then we do that. Yeah.
I don't like ironing either. Yeah. I don't
think anyone does.
Well, here's the thing is that after I bought a laundromat, I mostly stopped wearing clothes that needed to be ironed. So that was that's my trick right there. Okay. So, I'm curious how, when you took over this business, you did kind of your overhaul. First of all, it sounded like you who, self-admittedly said, I don't really know how to do laundry very well at all. It sounded like you had to do some training of your staff that was doing the laundry. How did you figure out what to teach them how to do, and how did that training go?
Jordan, in the beginning, it was crazy. They were training me. It was crazy. Well, I literally had to learn everything. I needed to learn how much detergent to put in, how much, what, because everyone had different, the Airbnbs had a different detergent and it was just, I had to learn everything. Yeah. So we kind of helped each other. They knew I needed them and they needed me. So we kind of just worked together very well. I did take over very great staff, and they've still, I've got four of them, two of them have left, but I've got two more. I've got really great staff, and, I've also realized that, got to have incentives for them and all sorts of things, because laundry is, not great to be doing every single day. They've got to keep them motivated and keep them wanting to come back to work, and also keeping the standards up. And so that's been tricky. But I think I've worked that out, how to sort that out. But yeah, I learned a lot from the staff, actually. They were great. And then I had to learn everything. I had to learn the folding techniques and the ironing and how the ironers worked, those big roller irons. So it was hard.
Yeah.
But
did the seller stick around to teach you any of that stuff? Or is he like, hey, we said August 1st, I'm out of here.
He did say to me, Tessa, I'll be around, but he wasn't really around. I used to phone him and go, Ashley, I'm really struggling. Can you please help me? And he was like, sorry, I'm not coming back. So, he wasn't much help at all. Yeah. So no, I couldn't really rely on him. Okay. But the staff, helped me. They really did help me a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I'm training them. Now I'm training the new staff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's fun.
Well, I was curious. It sounds like you had a good staff experience. But a lot of times I hear, and I've experienced this too personally, but like when you take over a store that's not really being managed, where the staff is mostly kind of left to their own devices, and you come in and you start implementing some standards and some procedures, I've found that sometimes staff don't work well. And, a lot of people too, when they buy, especially a higher performing laundromat, I've seen a lot of times where people will have the seller actually fire everybody on the staff, and then they all have to basically reapply for their job, which again, I think is controversial. Some people like that, some people don't. But I think the heart of that is it can be hard to start demanding or expecting your employees to do things that they didn't have to do before without basically being paid anymore or not much more or whatever. And I think a lot of people have problems in that scenario, but it doesn't sound like you had that problem or much of that problem.
No, the two that left, I did have a problem with. So there were two that weren't great, and they're not with us anymore. But the rest were good. But what staff, I think, is your biggest. It's kind of your hardest part of this business. It really is. It's hard. I think that's my biggest challenge, I think.
Yeah.
is the staff. Not saying I've got bad staff, just keeping it going, keeping them motivated, keeping them coming to work, and keeping the good ones. But I did find that I could sift through, and I knew who the good ones were, and I quickly gave them more responsibility. And one of them is my manager now, and I can rely on her totally. And she's also loved being, getting more responsibility, and just getting stuck into all the software and the accounts and things like that. So that's great. They've been good. There's always challenges with staff. I mean, I had a couple of stealing incidents, which was tough and a real learning curve. But I think that's also part of it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I found too, and hopefully this wasn't the case, but I found too that a lot of times going from a mostly cash business to adding digital payments, a lot of things can be revealed about your staff, both in terms of if stealing or things like that were happening, or if they're not tech savvy enough to be able to work with the software, or just not willing to work and learn a software and those systems. I mean, how was that transition going from cash to having that?
Yeah, that was quite tough, because they are. I mean, we've got some of our staff that just weren't interested to even start learning about it, and I did need them to learn, because I cannot be there all the time, and I needed to rely on them. So
you got podcast interviews to do. You can't be there all the time.
No,
you got podcast interviews to be on, and
Yeah, no. So I had to teach. I had to find the ones that really were interested and could learn. I'm trying hard to get everyone to know everything about the business, because that's then I know that I've succeeded with all of them. But it's hard. It really is tough.
Yeah.
And the stealing incidents, I think, wasn't a bad thing, because it made the other staff realize what happens when that happens, and it just it was inevitable they were going to get caught, and they did, and they were out of there the next day. So it was a bad experience. But the other staff had big eyes, and they knew that it's not worth it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And that's hard. I mean, especially kind of coming in as a new owner and finding that stuff out and having to deal with that. Like, you're like, hey, deep end, like, here I come, like just jumping right. I mean, that's kind of what you did anyways, right? Like, oh, I'm in here backpacking. I'll buy a laundry, and then just jumping in the deep end there. But I mean, that's a good
thing that I didn't know anything about laundry, because maybe it was that was my saving grace. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah. That's the danger of doing too much research up front, right? Like the people who want to learn everything beforehand, you might learn everything and decide not to do it.
Exactly.
But I mean, you mentioned, trying to learn about how to keep them motivated and incentives. Like, how are you keeping them motivated? Are you offering incentives, and what does that look like?
I do offer incentives. I mean, it was the first incentive I tried to do was try to get my electricity bill down. And I was like, okay, if we can get to this point of the electricity, then we can I will incentivize. And that didn't really work, because it wasn't really working. So that throughout.
You had them working in the dark so they couldn't see, save electricity on the lights.
That didn't work.
Like, bring flashlights.
But I you know what? Now I reward them for good work and good everything, good with the customers, good neat work, neat handwriting on the side, everything. Like, they know what they've got to do, and I reward them accordingly. And it's pure incentivized by good work, and they know that it's coming, and I do it, and it might come every 3 months, or it might come in 6 months, or it could come any time, and I do just add it on their paycheck, and they know that it's coming if it happens, and they know what they've got to do. So I seem to have got that right with them, because they're working well, and they know that I'm on them all the time, and I can see what's happening. They can't really get away with too much slacking off, because I know I've got cameras. That's another thing I put up in the laundry. I put cameras up immediately, so they know that I can see what they're doing. And yeah, they're working really well, and they seem, look, they need the jobs. There's a high unemployment in South Africa, and these ladies need their jobs. Some of them are supporting like whole families, and it's tough. It's really tough. They need they need this job badly.
Yeah,
and I try to reward them as much as I can.
Yeah, well, and that, part of what I like about this business too. I know normally we don't have a ton of employees, but we do have an opportunity to take care of our employees, and a good way to do that is to incentivize what you want to have happen, right? Like, if you've got, and we've seen like people, Google reviews are huge here, Yelp to a little bit lesser extent, but those are big too, right? And even Facebook reviews. And so we've seen, more on the self-serve side because you're interacting directly, but people are incentivizing their employees to, they get compensated if they get mentioned positively in a review and, stuff like, right. So it's like whatever you're looking for from your customers, if you can find a way to align your interests with theirs by incentivizing it, I mean, I think that's huge. Right. And so letting them know what's important to you and making it important by, offering some sort of incentive I think that's huge. Yeah.
Talk about the reviews. That was another big thing that I worked hard on is getting the reviews, because the previous owner was on like 2.9 or something. I mean, he had some horrific reviews and it wasn't great. And so I kind of took that over, and then, so I've worked very hard on trying to get reviews, and we've right up there now to like 4.9 or something. So that's been good.
Whoa.
But I think reviews help a lot. People definitely go in when they're looking, if they're about six laundromats in the space of, 5-10 kilometers, they will look at the reviews, and it does help if you've got a good review. Okay.
Well, I mean, give us your secrets. How did you, what does it mean you worked hard to get good reviews? How did you get good reviews?
I pushed, I got one of those QR cards at the reception that they could just scan their phone to make it easy for them, and I would ask the staff to, especially if the customers were happy, we'd say, I'd tell them to say to the customer, would you mind, giving us a review? And before they leave the premises, I was giving fudge out at one point. I would give them a free piece of fudge if they left a review.
Oh,
that worked.
Bribing with fudge that's fail. Like it can't fail.
I don't know. We just kept asking, and the customers to, would you mind giving us a review? And then they did. I mean, the more you ask, that people don't mind doing it, especially if they're getting good service. And every time
fudge.
I went, sorry,
I said and fudge. If they're getting good service and fudge, they don't mind doing it.
Not doing the fudge because I couldn't afford buying all the fudge anymore. But and every time, just say we went over and above for a customer, and they were sort of going on and on about how great our laundry was and everything, I would always say to them, please leave us a review. And then they would, they're very happy to. So I worked hard on that, just trying to tell people to please leave us a review, and it has worked. People are happy to leave reviews if they get good service.
They're also happy to leave reviews if they get bad service. So you got to be careful. Make sure if you're going to be asking for reviews, you're
exactly. Good. Yeah, you got to have a few bad reviews, I think.
Yeah.
To make it look like you haven't only, just getting your friends to write reviews.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I know. Listen, customers, I've dealt with those as well. Yeah, there's bad ones. And then I've also learned with those is, sure, you just got to, the customer's always right. And how, even if me and the staff know that, it's just absolute nonsense what they're accusing us of doing, we just have to go, it's okay, it's fine, we're very sorry, we'll replace it, we'll do this. And we do. And then they leave the laundry happy, and they come back instead of us fighting them and saying it wasn't us. Then they leave. They'll probably tell about 10 friends never to come back and leave a bad review. And then, so it definitely helps just saying sorry and replacing, even if you don't, that it wasn't your fault. I've done that a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think I think that's really, I think it's just wise, right? It's hard because when we own businesses, like we're proud of those businesses, right? They're like an extension of us. And so we have this pride about it. And when somebody is attacking it, especially if it's unfair, and they're attacking it, for me, I'll speak for myself. It's easy for my pride to kind of get wrapped up in that and to want to defend the thing that I'm proud of, especially when I know they're just being ridiculous or what. I mean, that we've all seen those reviews and those customers, right? But like you're saying, I think probably 9 times out of 10 or more, if you just, eat some humble pie and just say, look, I know I have a good service to myself. Like, I know I have a good service. I know they're being ridiculous. Let's just make it right and move on and keep serving the customers that want our service. It ends up just working out better. And you have an opportunity to turn their opinion around about you. Now, you're not going to do that for everybody. There's just some people who are unreasonable.
No, I know. I actually, it definitely does. Just like you said, eat your humble pie and just try and get them back. Yeah. It's amazing how their attitude switches, as soon as you say to them, we'll take, it's a free load, don't worry, or I will replace that pair of jeans that you said we ruined or whatever. We do it. And suddenly it's amazing, the switch. So I have realized it does. You just got to do it. It doesn't happen that often. So, just do it, because it's not like it's happening every day. And when it does happen, you just have to do it. Yeah.
And usually it costs a lot less to just make it right, even if it wasn't your fault, to just make it right than to butt heads with them. Especially I've seen a lot of owners butt heads with customers online, they'll respond to a bad Google review and they'll be combative. And it's like the worst thing that you can do usually, where it's like, I don't know, it doesn't come off well for anybody else reading that you're fighting them. So
yeah, no, you can't fight them. Definitely not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, obviously you improved the service a lot, right? When you took over from the other owner, and it sounds like you did a lot of very strategic things to help kind of grow this business. Were you doing anything else in particular especially to get more of these Airbnb customers? It sounds like that's a pretty good source of daily, daily laundry that you've got coming in. Did you do anything in particular to grow that side of the business?
I think what we did, and when I took over, there was a lot of the actual detergents that the old owner was using it wasn't great. It was quite cheap, and it wasn't dealing with stains properly. And so a lot of those corporate clients were complaining about, there's yellow stains and the black stains and all that stuff. It's really hard to get out of linen. And I was going crazy because I didn't really know what to do, because it was just, I didn't, we were doing everything that we could with the detergents that I took over his suppliers and everything. And I thought, no, there's got to be something here. I've got to do some investigating. So I literally did. I really investigated a lot about detergents and what detergents to use for this type of linen that we were doing. We were doing high-end linen that needed to be perfect, white, silky white, not full of yellow stains. And I found this great company called TexChem, and that was a huge game changer for us. They were more expensive, but they've been incredible. And I think the linen that we started churning out was just so great, and the stains went, and it was just brilliant. And they've been so happy with us, and we've got more. I guess we've had good reviews, and the words got out, and we've had more and more and more Airbnbs and guest houses coming to us. And I think it's because we are being able to get the linen back how they want it. Because some guests are terrible. There's sunscreen stains. There's all sorts of things that they don't care. It's not their linen, so they don't mind. And then we've got to get it out, and we've got to get it back to how it's supposed to be. And that's what they want. So, and I do believe that we've got to that level now. It took a while though. It didn't happen overnight. I had to really try a lot of different detergents. And then I found this amazing detergent that was incredible. So I think that's been a real game changer. Also, I think just the level of delivery and just getting like those guest houses, when they've got guests coming, they give us all their dates and we have to get that out when they want it out. There's no being late or saying, sorry, it's not ready yet, we're a day late. When they want it back, we have to deliver. And there's no deviating on that one. So that's also been good. I mean, and I think we've kept our promise with that. Yeah. So I think the two big ones are the detergents and our service delivery, which has been quite a good high standard.
Yeah. Well, and you were telling me, I don't think we talked about this after we hit record, but you were telling me even some of the Airbnbs every now and then your people actually go in and strip the sheets and stuff, huh?
Yeah, we do that. Yeah. So I mean, a lot of the owners are maybe away. They're living in another part of South Africa. They've actually got a second home and then they're not even in Cape Town. So they've got a housekeeper or maybe a host that's just letting them in. So they actually asked us to go in. Can we get the apartment or the house Airbnb ready? So we will then take the old linen off the beds, put the new linen on the beds, and then the ladies will just quickly do a clean and get it ready for the guests. And that's also there's more and more demand of that. So it's a whole nother business.
Sounds like a budding short-term rental cleaning business happening over there.
Cleaning is not it's hard though. It's not easy.
Yeah.
It's also getting that price right is hard because it's, you need quite a lot of staff and it's quite tricky to get the price right there. But we definitely do offer that service to put the linen on the beds and then we just charge them more. It's on top of the laundry and they're happy to pay it because it makes their lives easier.
Yeah. Yeah. That's interesting. That's interesting. Until we talked, before we hit record, I had never really even thought of that kind of potential symbiotic relationship between laundry, pickup and delivery and cleaning, especially when it comes to the short-term rental market. But that's an interesting concept, I think. Like you said, I think there's some definitely some challenges to overcome to make that work, but they're probably overcomable challenges for the right person who wants to make it happen.
No, it is. There's a demand out there for it, definitely. Yeah. Especially in the season. Yeah. You need to come down to Cape Town and see what I'm talking about. That's
right. I'll stay in an Airbnb and check out the sheets, see how they do.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's good. Do you do or have you done any like advertising or anything like that? For your pickup and delivery service, like run Google ads or Facebook ads or anything like that?
Yeah. I do it all the time. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that driving a lot? I mean, are you tracking that? Like, are you getting good business from that? How's the response been to your ads?
You mean off Instagram and Facebook?
Mm-hmm.
And my social media, yes. Yeah, I don't know. We definitely are. We boost the posts and we get to a lot of people that way.
Yeah.
That's that's been a big part of me taking over from him where he had nothing. And I think it's getting to a lot of people. Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. What kind of, just out of curiosity, I've started, and in fact, if anybody's listening out there and wants to send me an example or two of a laundromat who's doing social media really well, I've kind of been digging into that a little bit to see like what's a good social media strategy, but like what kinds of things are you posting for your ads or just on your social media in general?
I'm boosting. I mean, I'm going over and over with the collect and delivery. I'm really pumping that. We post a lot that we do Airbnb cleaning, for Airbnbs and guest houses. Just posts of the laundry, posts of the staff, posts of what's happening in our laundry, what we offer, the service we offer. Just, I think continual posting gets, you got to be consistent with it. So, 3-4 posts a week and then the reels, Facebook. I think it's just to be consistent and to keep at it. Gets the word out.
Are you the one doing all the posting?
No,
you personally?
No, I've had different people doing my social media. I'm not that great at it.
Are there people on your staff, or do you have like an agency or somebody helping you?
I did have a proper social media agency, but now I'm actually my son's girlfriend is doing it, my social media for me now. She's young. They're much more in tune with how to post the reels and all that. So we discuss what we want, what I want, and then she does it for me and then posts. And it's going
awesome.
well.
Yeah. Sounds
She's
like
learned a lot as well.
Yeah. You better tell your son not to ruin it for you. Keep her around for a while.
I hope so.
Yeah, that's awesome. This has been awesome. Like I feel like first of all, you're very inspiring just in the way that you kind of just went for it and jumped in and have kind of made this thing happen. I mean, I didn't ask, but like when you took over, was it a profitable business? Like when you took over and then you've grown it from there, or did you have to like get it going?
No, it actually was making money even when I took it over, but it just was making money in a different way than we're making money now. But it was making money. We've made money all the time. It's just grown. I mean, as your revenue grows and then there's more expense. It just sort of, that's what happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
You keep going up, but we've only doubled our revenue and it's been amazing. I mean, it really has been an incredible 2 years. It really has. And I've actually really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Only 2 years though. That's pretty impressive that, in 2 years you've doubled business. You've built this kind of machine that's working right now. And it sounds like you're either consciously or subconsciously laying the groundwork for some more expansion through maybe adding some warehouse or some drop spots or whatever. But it sounds like you've got
I'd love to. Yeah,
good system working. Awesome. I want to ask you what advice do you have for somebody who's maybe starting to think about going into the laundry business, wanting to get started? You got any advice for somebody who's maybe you a couple years ago before you flew off to, Europe to go backpack and buy a laundromat?
Oh, I think, I think if they want to get into this business, they must take the plunge if they really want to. I think there are some things about buying a laundromat or a laundry business that I bought a laundry that was in a great location. I think location is key with this business, especially down here. I don't know. I'm sure in America as well. But I mean, there's got to be parking. They've got to be visible. I think that's very important. I've seen laundromats close down in Cape Town where they've been in areas where people just can't really get to them, so they just won't come and they just close. They just don't get the traffic and the drop off customers, or people don't really want to walk with their laundry bags to the laundry there. So I think it's got to, if they are looking to buy a laundromat, the location is key. I really do think it is. And then once they're in the laundry business, I think customer service is just so important. I think that is huge. The type of service that you do. I mean, customers are very fickle. It's like the restaurant business. You have one bad pizza or whatever, you're not really going to go back. And if people have bad experience, there are plenty other laundries that they can go to, and they will do that. So I think your service has got to be impeccable. Train your staff well, keep them happy. Have a good vibe in the laundry. People also customers love coming into laundries when there's happiness and laughing and smiling faces. They don't like coming in when it's all dreary and negative, and all those kind of things do help. Yeah, I think if people want to buy, I would say go for it. Anyone out there sitting on the fence thinking, should they do it? I think it's been a great experience for me.
This is the sign. If you're out there listening, waiting for a sign to take the leap, you have just got your sign from Tessa. It has come from South Africa straight to your ears. Take the leap, make the jump. And I mean, such great advice, right? I mean, I think location is huge no matter where in the world you are, for a laundry business, but probably for a lot of businesses that are local service businesses, right? And I mean, customer service is just so big. And I think it's, at least here in the States, it's only getting more and more important, to serve those customers well.
Yeah.
And even if you're just a self-serve laundry, you still have got to think about customer service and, how you're treating those customers. Even if you're not there, you don't have somebody there. There's still a customer service aspect to it that you want to think through strategically. You may not have an answer to this question, but I just kind of curious if there was one thing, customer service wise, one thing that you think is the most important thing to do customer service wise. You have something
for the customers coming into the laundry.
Yeah.
Sure.
Or if I was starting a laundry service business and you're like, if you do nothing else, customer service wise, do this. Has there been something that you found that, like I said, you may not know the answer to this, or there may not even be a good answer to this, but because it's a whole bunch of little things. But I'm just curious if there's like,
it is a whole bunch of little things. But I would just say that the laundry that you give out, just make it look beautiful and perfect. Just when they receive their laundry, if they can just receive lovely smelling, perfectly folded laundry, they can only be happy. They don't really know what else has gone through the whole process, but that packet, just like giving them a present almost, just let them take their laundry and they can put it in their cupboards and it's perfect. You can't, that's, for me, that's number one, I think, just giving them that pleasure of having perfect laundry or clothes or linen or towels, fluffy towels. And, it's nice to get your laundry back like that.
Especially when you didn't do it. Even better.
Yes, exactly.
What I love about that answer, and you've kind of said this a few times, is, yes, the thing you're selling is clean laundry, right? But really a huge factor in what we're selling is emotion, right? And you mentioned multiple times all throughout this that the customer can only feel happy when you give them good service and you return their laundry, folded, soft, nice, looking perfect, smelling good, all of that. Right. And you've said that a few times, like they can only feel happy. Right. And, you also mentioned, in your advice, right, you mentioned having a good vibe and, laughing people and, just having a good experience. Right. Again, those emotions. And, I just think that is so powerful, and whether you are, it sounds like you're doing that intentionally, right? Paying attention to your customers' emotions and how they're feeling. But even if we're doing it unintentionally, we're unintentionally or intentionally creating emotions in people by our atmosphere, by our service. And the more that we can intentionally direct those emotions, the better it's going to be for business, because people are going to want to do business with you if they get their laundry back and they feel happy. If they pop into your store to drop off or pick up their laundry and everybody's happy and it makes them feel good, right? It's a huge component that I don't hear people talking about that often. So the fact that it came up a whole bunch of times, I think is probably a huge contributor to why you're seeing the success you're seeing there.
Thanks. Yeah. Also, my staff, like the ladies that are right at the front desk that are seeing the customers a lot, because there are a lot of others that are too busy folding and ironing. But those ones, they're engaging a lot with the customers and they're talking to them and asking them about their day or something, or their child was sick or their dad's ill and we doing their laundry for their dad. They engage with them and they love that. I've seen that. I can see the customers. They love that interaction and having just a little chat with someone and who's making them laugh or making them feel good or something. So it does help, definitely.
Huge. Yeah, I think it's huge. All right. Well, anybody out there who's looking to get into the laundry business, probably your big takeaway from this is that you need to go backpack around Europe so that you can get a laundry business. That seems to be the way to do it. It's working out well for you so far, right?
Yeah, I'm very glad I did that backpacking trip and didn't cancel it. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure that was.
I must say, when I was on my backpacking trip, I was going, wow, you better enjoy every single thing on this trip because you're not going to be backpacking for a while. But anyway, yeah, it was great.
Yeah, I bet that was a trip of a lifetime with your daughter cruising around. So pretty
really
cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool to be able to do
great.
that.
Yeah.
Well, Tessa, this has been incredible. Not only, is your story incredible, and not only did you just gave so many tangible things that are helpful, but you are incredible to speak with. Also, I just had a great time. Speaking of good feelings, I'm having a lot of great feelings, and I'm feeling super motivated after talking with you, making things happen over there in South Africa. So thank you for taking the time to come on and share your story with us.
Thanks, Jordan. Thanks for having me. It's been great.
Anytime, you're welcome. You're welcome back on anytime. And I'm going to have to work on coordinating a trip down there to inspect your linens and to make sure everything's sparkling white and clean.
I'll find you an Airbnb. I'll find you an Airbnb in Colt Bay.
Yeah.
Google Colt Bay and then you'll want to come.
Done. I'm going to do that as soon as we get off of this thing and see about booking a trip because that'd be a lot of fun. It's always been on the bucket list to do that. But really my main education about South Africa is from Endless Summer or the Discovery Shark Weeks where you guys have the great whites that jump out of the water and eat the fake seals. Like that's pretty much the extent of my knowledge.
Well, there's lots more.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Well, thank you again for taking the time to come on and really appreciate it.
Pleasure, Jordan. Thank you.
All right. Once again, huge shout out to Tessa. Thank you for coming on the show. So much good stuff. Such a cool story and super duper cool to hear how you've been building this business and thriving, living your best life. So, number one, maybe we'll have to play tennis sometime. I don't know if I even want to, but that'd be a lot of fun. And then number two, listen, all of this is great. Tessa's story is great. So many golden nuggets, if you will, in this episode. However, for you, if you're listening to this, like always, none of it makes a bit of difference unless you actually do something. So pick one thing in today's episode and put it into action. It could be, hey, I'm coming to the November 12th webinar to get the Laundromat Playbook. That's a great action. But also you should probably pick something else there to put into action today. For me, what was incredible actually was how she grew her Airbnb services there. And that led to her doubling her business. And as I'm kind of thinking about my journey forward in laundry, I'm thinking of ways to incorporate that more into my business. So I don't know. Stay tuned. Maybe we'll see what happens there. But that's my action is to call up some Airbnb managers and start those conversations rolling. All right. What's your action? Let me know. I would love to hear what your action is. Maybe go post it on the forums. Or if you got a mastermind group, share with your mastermind group, whatever the case may be. But get out there and take some action. All right. Go Dodgers. Peace.